Okay, hey guys, welcome to my reading, welcome to my channel. My hair's literally a mess right now, but we might as well. I think I prefer this view of myself right now, because I guess. Anyways. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm going through it right now. I was mentioning this in my last vlog, but I had to restart the video. And it's about like people having self-esteem issues and then projecting their self-esteem issues onto people that they are trying to make obsessed with them. And if that person isn't reciprocating the energy, then, you know, that lower vibrational frequency, it's like toxicity, toxic positivity, toxicity just is unjustified toxicity. It's like a constant toxic cycle of bullshit. You're constantly waiting for them to stop seeking keywords that they would use against you. Like, no matter what you do, they will always try and find like a keyword in order to attack you with, or subjugating a person into a particular kind of conversation. And that's been an issue in the collective for a minute, where it's like people, like, that's literally religious fanaticism, which was another one. I can't stand it when a motherfucker tells me that they're not religious, but they watch sports every day. Can't stand it when a motherfucker says they're not religious and then they do something like all the fucking time. You know, you go to work every day, that's religious. You wake up every day, that's fucking religious. You religiously do something. Religious fanaticism is an obsession with a specific kind of culture within a religion. That means it's an obsession with consecrating an outcome. And yes, you guys, that energy is the lower vibrational frequency of the dual aspect in manifesting. When you're manifesting something, you're vision boarding it, right? You're looking for progress within that. You're looking for a particular outcome. You're manifesting something. But what happens when there's religious fanaticism? It is literally the corrupted version of its distorted nature. It's a distortion, much like distorted femininity might appear as feminine energy. Well, it's actually oppositional to feminine energy in its distortion. You would have to see the distortion for what it is. And people can't handle, you know, staring at the monsters that they've created in the face. Some people can't handle, you know, staring at their demons and facing themselves and facing what it is that they've done. But religious fanaticism is also the distorted romanticization of that contextual consecration, which would have been the ideal, whether it be ideal philosophy or ideal identity or ideal characterization or the ideal uniformity of its truth. Like these are very much channeled energies. A lot of people who don't have a specific kind of background and articulate. Fuchsia, what are you doing? People who don't have a specific background in articulation, right? So, for example, fuck it. There are some people who just don't know the words that I'm speaking because they never studied them. They never did their keyword fucking high school fucking sit there and these are your keywords for the day. They never studied that shit. They never looked it up. They never cared about it. And then there's some people who pretend to care about it. And there are some people who pretend like they did it. And what they really do is they go, yeah, okay. And that's all they do. They don't really understand these concepts. They're not actually high vibrational. it's so painful to be around these people because you think they're a certain kind of way. You think that they're like you. You think that you're resonating with them or that they're resonating with you, but it's actually all dark empathy, where it's the distortion of empathy. It's the visual aspects of empathy in all its forms, except for the truth, in which that it's not. 1 second, y'all. Anyways, I'm back. I've been going through something, okay? I've been going through something, you guys, okay? And it has a lot to do with kind of accepting myself as I am. Man, it took me a minute, you guys. I had to give myself up in every way, shape, form, or possibility. Everything that I am, everyone fucking knows already. So there's no way that anyone can make up anything about myself. My truth, my identity, and my concepts, and my ideas, and my idealism, it all belongs to me. And kind of like a copyright or a trademark, it belongs to me. The only impression that exists in this world that is of me is the one that God had put upon my path for me to fulfill. So I trademarked the very idealized concept of my truth, myself, and my character in every way possible to all of reality, in which that no one would be able to copy it. It is what it is. If anyone tried to challenge it and or pretend to copy it, it would only evolve their own conceptualization of self. It would literally still not be a copy of me. It is truly a pure inspiration because I am a muse. I am a muse. I am a model. And it gets pretty hard to live a reality where people don't know or understand that, yes, indeed, I am ahead of your time. I am far ahead of your time. I wouldn't have to say that, but I'm also not willing to die for you to figure that out. People. And you can just thank the Gemini in me, because I feel like that's truly the Kanye of it all, right? The Kanye of it all is the part where it goes, I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. Because that's truly what it is. It's the duality of self-acceptance. And in that self-acceptance comes, absurdity. And absurdity, 1 second. That absurdity is the opposition of the very fundamental in the reality of the duality itself. To explain it further, it's kind of like every new thing that comes about brings up a process that hasn't been harnessed. And in that unharnessed, untamed frequency, there will be unexpected realities. And in that unexpected realities, there are silver linings and divine blessings. And it's kind of like a gold mine. It's kind of like a fucking gold mine. And boy, do I fucking love being a Gemini moon. It sucks. sucks. Fucking sucks. I love having my Juno in Aquarius. It's awful. It's awful. Now, we've had trials, and then there's the victory. Wheel of Fortune, where it belongs, with God. So now that the war has been won, we can finally focus on the facts of the matter. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. By the way, do you guys like my... Oh yeah, I already showed you guys this. Queen of Buds in reverse. There's this energy of lack of nurturing. Now, just because a person didn't have the nurturing in their life doesn't mean that they cannot nurture another person. It's the very gold mine of it all. People don't understand the kind of opportunity you get when you lose something. When God makes you fail in something or lose something, there is such a benefit from it. I mean, it almost gets me fucking high just thinking about it. The thrill, the adrenaline. So, Queen of Joints, Queen of Swords here. Let me explain to you guys, this is an often stereotype of the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is often known as the divorcee, right? The divorcer, divorcee. It's usually like the single woman after the divorce. There is actually a pure irony of that energy. And it has to do with, like, it has to do, let's find out, actually, because this is, let's find out. Do you guys like my lights? The Fool. Yeah, that's the absurdity. The absurdity is, I knew it. The absurdity, yep, I knew it. Yep, Tower in reverse, yep, that's what it is. There's, this is the face I made. I haven't even smoked yet. I'm finna smoke. So, the absurdity within the matter comes with a silver lining, right? There's always an aspect of being divorced, right? Recently, I've had to expand my awareness of my shadow. And that actually led me to discovery, the very essence of discovery. I mean, I watched a video, I think it was a music video one time, and it was about this lady, presumably in the image of Lilith, but not her latter image, but her former image, her more light image, where she was in the cave back before she had met Satan. And she was traveling through that cave and discovered these lights, right? Cave lights, the crystals and whatnot. And, you know, that actually explains how she came out the cave no longer being the innocent Lilith that she had already been, even in her formality, but then coming out as the absurdity because of that discovery that she had disavowed. Now, for y'all that don't know, now I've told you my Juno, I've told you my Gemini energy. My Lilith is in Capricorn, which means that her original history lies within my conceptual DNA. which would be my destiny chart. It would be in my Wheel of Fortune. It would be my fortune. Basically, I have the history of Lilith in my hands. And so this form of pure essential discovery requires that there be an absurdity. There has to be a loss in order for there to be attunement. An attunement is only possible if there's a loss. Nothing ever gets tuned in if it's not already tuned out of. The original energy that would be tuned into and out of has always been there. And that's the nature of discovery. In that case and in that manner, the quantum revelation of essence is now ordinate. It's like obvious. There are things that exist in this reality that we, you know what I mean? That yes, basically. There are things in this reality that are. That's what it is. There are things in this reality that are and have always been and will always be. And until that there is a flaw, then there cannot be a correction to discover. Now let's go back to what I had started this reading off with. There are some people in this world that have deep, deep self-esteem issues, deep resentments, deep pains and hurts, and they refuse to acknowledge it to the point of actually attempting to determine somebody else's existence in their own form of perception. I couldn't imagine sitting there and attempting to actually, Fuchsia! Y'all, give me a second, y'all. Sitting there and attempting to make of somebody else's reality your idea of purity. Can you imagine coming up to somebody that you don't even understand, you don't even know, someone you don't even fucking resonate with for real, and then attempt to shape them in an order that you feel is pure in your eyes? That's crazy. I mean, the levels of condescension that has to exist within that being. Because you know what it takes to go and talk to someone else and attempt to make them in a shape and image of the form of perception that you believe is pure? You would have had to actually forget that that person exists. You would have actually had to sit there and reform the very concept that has been laid before you in your mind to articulate somebody else's existence externally without words. The levels of desperation that is truly entitled within that energy is crazy. Fuck with me or nah. That's the song. Fuck with me or not. Fuck with me or not. So that is the energy of distorted conceptualization. Distorted conceptualization is the enabler of false hope. And this has been my mission for quite some time now. In order to put up boundaries upon distorted conceptualization and put up boundaries upon false hope. Because you can't look me in the eyes and tell me that a man deserves to give birth to a child. Let's be for real. Queen of Buds in reverse and death. That's over. What's really over, let me explain to you what it is people sitting down in their classrooms and thinking that they can go after a specific dream that isn't even in their destiny to go for. But they think that they can go for that dream because they believe that they have the ability to perform in that order. And then as they're growing, as they're spreading that energy of false hope and forcing people to resonate on that frequency, holding and stagnating people back, and then they fail. And then they go around acting as if that they can now build commission upon that failure, in as if that it was the pure failure and error that God had already placed in there for people to find the discovery. Are you kidding me, bruh? So there are people on this planet that were destined to discover things, destined to invent things, destined to create things. And then there are people in this world who are worthless and useless and are losers. And it's supposed to be that way. And everybody has free will, except for when they're born. That's the part that people forget. You have free will, sure, within the parameters of your birth. Sure, you have free will within the ideologies that you exist in. You have free will within the concepts of your reality. And that's why ascension and expansion is so important. Because you only have free will for so long and only so much. And that's life. Welcome to my channel, you guys. I hope you enjoy. Now let's read the collective's energy now that we're initiating the protocol. What's the protocol? Let's find out, you guys. What's the current protocol? Because this is a new timeline, baby. It's a new timeline. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. And I'm feeling good. A North Node, you guys. North Node. The current protocol is have faith in spiritual energy, mental, do not worry about, and physical, now is the time to. So with the protocol, initiating measures. So these are the terms that fortify. So these are the terms that fortify your goals. So the current protocol are grounding the measures that initialize your goals. No, I said something different. Gotta spin back. These are the measures, grounding the measures that your goals consist of. Okay. That consists of initiating your goals. Okay. Grounding the methodism, basically, of your orientation towards your goals. Basically, what you're willing to do to get where you have to go. What is it that the parameters that exist within your qualifications, basically? What are the parameters of your qualifications? That's the current question. What are the qualifications? I can't even make this up. The resources to maintain your own freedom are under judgment, collective. Whether your judgment be good or bad, that is all up to how you've been living your life so far. But there is judgment upon the resources to maintain your freedom. How you've achieved them, where you got them from, how you did it, basically all that. All of it. That means the scammers are under judgment, the fraudsters are under judgment, the businessmen are under judgment, the businesswomen are under judgment, the service workers are under judgment, the nurses are under judgment. Everyone is under judgment when it comes to this. Because it's all about who has what and how did they get it. Because that is supposed to allow you to consider the limitations of your qualifications. And if a person doesn't have the qualification to consider the limitations of said goals, then they don't have the pronounced intensity nor drive to expand upon said limitations. For their limitations would only be an illusion. And for those of us who had maintained their freedom utilizing resources of our own, achieved and received from the Most High, natural resources, organic growth, then all that will be seen there is purity, and any limitations that are there would only expand, aka moving beyond your limits. Basically, what is that word called again? I always forget that fucking word. I always forget that fucking word. It's what is it called again? Okay, hold on. I have to look it up. I think it might just be maximization, yeah? Yeah, I think it is. I think that's the word, right? So we'll go with that. That'll be the placeholder word for now. If there's another word, we'll find it. But basically, it's maximizing potential. So those of us who have been pure and passed judgment in this journey when it comes to our resources and where we achieve our resources from and so on and so forth, we are going to be going through a maximizing of potential and our limitations within it as well. That's double, triple, and quadruple increase in resources and resourcefulness, ability to maintain it, and the achievability of those constants. Everyone else is going to hell, basically. So now let's keep going. Freedom in spirituality to ultimately experience your ideas, aka this is accessing and enjoying the fruits of your labor. Association in trusting your psychic knowledge of short-term thinking and trips. This has to do with, association in trusting your psychic knowledge of short-term thinking and trips. Maybe it's associations of trusting your psychic. No. Associations where trusting your psychic knowledge of short-term thinking and trips apply. What kind of association does where do you put your trust when it comes to your ideas? What do you associate with your ideas in trust, in faith, ultimately? Where is the most faith in all of the things that your ideas come about by? So what it is that holds the very truth within the concept of your idealism is what's going to be important, collective. I'm not going to use the word intention, but I'm going to mention it because it keeps trying to come through, because there's a false perception of intention, which is a whole other ordeal, which I'm about to get into. So we just finished that last mission. This is the new mission. Physical, your circle of friends as a result from indecision of or about who or what is around you. Basically, it's time for us to get out of the limitations of our external reality and start tapping into, expanding upon, and maximizing the potential of our surrounding environment. Maximizing potential within our surrounding environment really means organic community growth. Organic community growth requires that there be a sense of humanity, not only a sense of humanity for real, but real humanity. There's a requirement for there to be humanity at this current moment in order for us to maximize the potential of our environment. And people who are not on that wave are going to go to hell. It's like that simple. It's that simple. Death is amongst them. And that's not even the hell that's beginning. Your faith. So now let's get into, that was the protocol. Now let's get into the soul's journey when it comes to this current mission and the intentionality behind it, because there's a lot of false political ideologies, politicism. The idea and concept of politicism is being destroyed. Honey, it's being disrupted, dismantled, disgraced, forfeited. There is a grandiose anomaly when it comes to politicism, because politics directly translates to theatrical hostility. Theatrical hostility is a hyperbolic reactivity and enabling of hostile reactivity, aka a breeding of negative, low vibrational continuity. That low vibrational negative continuity is a illusionary fabrication of true hell, meaning that there are people who really believe that they're in hell due to the fact that there are people who are constructing a false reality of hell for those to suffer with them, amongst them, in that falsehood. They really don't know what hell is, these people. They really don't understand the eternal damnation, Gehenna. They don't really know what it is. So they make up ideas and they make up concepts and ideas in their mind of what it could be, how it could be. But no one escapes Gehenna. Now, what if I told you that I've been to Gehenna? That I've been in hell? And no, honey, I didn't escape. God pulled me out of it. Many people reach the top layer of hell only to crawl right back to the bottom. Like dolphins reaching for air. Or is it whales or belugas? I'm not really sure. But there are species here on Earth that literally cannot be sustained in the environment that they are, look like they're built for. Like, I think it's dolphins. Dolphins have to come up for air. But they're deep sea creatures, they're water creatures. You would think that they wouldn't need to come up for air. Frogs must lay their eggs in water. But they're land creatures. Although they are constantly moist and, require water. The whole concept and idea that although something is built in a way where you perceive it to be in the environment it belongs in, it actually must go through a process to receive the resources it requires to now live in that environment, even though it is fully adapted to that environment. How come? How come? Where is that energy coming from? Where is that reality? What is it that us humans, that we are here on Earth, however, we require something, some kind of resource for us to properly live here, even though we are fully adapted to full capacity of everything that this planet has for us. I have faith. In fact, not even have it. I am in full faithhood that is the Most High, that it is God, that we as living creatures, as human beings, require a higher source, faith, and full trust in something beyond our recognition, beyond our fathomhood, beyond something that we can even consider to be understandable in order for us to really achieve true and pure heaven on earth. I think that in order for a human being to survive this planet, it requires to breathe in life. And the life has to come from somewhere. And it's not on this planet. Empathy would be the discovery of that notion. But before that discovery had been found, before empathy had been found, there had to be a grave error in order for there to be an attunement towards the discovery of empathy. In that way, faith is truly just, and God is truly, Allah is truly the most merciful. That absurdity that was required in order for there to be a discovery of empathy had to have been blame. Because that is the only way. That was the only way, and that had been the only way to discover the true essence of accountability. And once you find accountability, you're kind of diagnosed, not in a negative way, but you're kind of adapted to true empathy. Or should I say integrated with empathy. Once you find accountability, you become an empathetic being, an all-feeling being. That is what true empathy is. All feeling. And feeling has nothing to do with sense. Feelings can be senseless, like love. You can feel love. You don't need to sense it. You could just feel it. You can also feel loyalty. You can feel faith. You can feel trust. You can feel hope, true hope. You can feel. But there had to have been a failure in that to begin with. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Keyword opportunity. Now, let's move on from that and focus on this word learn. What is a learning? When one is both master and student, the process is learning. Much like knowing is a process of acknowledging wisdom. Learning is a process of accepting empathy. Disciplines out here. Is it accepting discipline? I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Doesn't seem like it, because it's not. Discipline is what comes in after learning. Does learning require discipline? No. Discipline is what happens when you don't learn. And so when learning occurs, discipline is activated. That is the only way to accomplish. So when God says he does not like to punish people, I'm pretty sure he means that shit. I'm pretty sure people just gotta learn how they learn, right? Do you feel the hostility, the theatrical hostility? It's a distortion of passion. When passion is pure, as passion is pure, its true nature is informative, exciting, resilient, forthcoming, steadfast. Herkan, wanna come over? DM me. In that way, there is activation, initiation, movement forward. There is activity. It is the process of living. Because life is life. I just spoke about this. But living is an act of joy, an activation of joyous, and there we have it. That's where they keep on placing intention. But what is the true ordinance of that energy? The activation and joy of what? Because intention, I swear, this mission, judgment. Didn't I say judgment? No doubt. No doubt. Thank you, Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit. I cannot wait to eat. I don't think I've really eaten like all day. Like, for real. But when I smoke, get my little... I'm gonna cook, clean, and eat, baby. It's like foreplay to me. So an activation of joy, momentum, that's the word. Momentum. Momentalism, that's our pathway at this current time, collective. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my vlog. I am the Empress. I am the Word. I am the model. The Galactic Red Skywalker. People don't believe it. I don't give a fuck. They're groups anyways. Cults don't like me. Cults can't stand me. It's like an ad. Cults can't stand me. Pay attention for 3 seconds and find out why. So now, put in a coin and watch it work, right? It's a joke. It's a joke. Discipline, acceptance. You see? Y'all. And there it is. And this is what they've been avoiding, these people who are under judgment that are not passing. They've been avoiding grief because the only way to reach their courage is to get past their grief. But they haven't been encouraged. And they haven't been encouraged because they won't accept the discipline to encourage themselves. Because if you can't encourage yourself, how in the hell are you going to accept encouragement from anyone else? If someone is encouraging you and you don't encourage yourself, then how are you expecting to, what is it called again? Feel motive and motivated. How do you expect to feel motivated if you can't even encourage yourself to accept that same thing that you won't give yourself from someone else. If you can't give yourself $1 billion, how do you expect to accept it from someone else? That's my question. If you can't build for yourself something to accept, then how are you expecting someone else to now build it for you just so that you don't accept it? Passion within the inclination of justified reasoning requires massive amounts of discipline. And that discipline will be tested. It will be tested. That is just how it works. Health is here with perseverance. Imagination is here. And now that theatrical hostility is a form of presumpted opposition. It's like a ghost technique. It's like, damn, girl. Okay, sorry. It's like a, what do you call it? It's like when you're playing chess, right? And you can see that your opponent is trying to put the knight, right, somewhere. So you make your move based off of what you think that opponent is going to do. The reality of the situation is that you don't really know if that opponent is going to move that knight to that position. But now that you've made your move, you'll never be able to really determine whether or not that knight was really going to move anywhere at all. And if they had done the move, then you can literally manipulate the situation to look anyhow. It manifests so much potential, creative potential, that it requires the justice in order for there to be the next move after that. Now that the opponent has made the move, now you have to make the next move. But there's so much creative potential there. If your mind isn't at peace and you presume that that opponent is going to move that knight somewhere, and they don't move that knight somewhere, and your mind isn't at peace, then it's going to cause a spark of hostility. Because not only do you feel as if that something had occurred that was incorrect, whereas it actually was supposed to be, then you're also subconsciously orienting a false reflection based off of an illusionary experience that had just been manifested based off of an assumption. There's so much positive and negative potential within that arena, which is the magic of war. The magic of war comes from what you choose to expand and where you choose to expand it in. Are you going to be the yin in a yang situation and expand there? Or are you going to try and blend into a yin or yang situation? Or are you going to be the yang in a yin situation and build limitations for whatever reason? The potential is fucking endless. Yeah? Which means that there is no real limit to human credentialism. Just how much a human can be accredited is endless. But just know it requires a higher source to enable the activation of those credits. So I can say that I'm the Empress and that I gave birth to this and many other galaxies. I can say that I've skywalked and walked many galaxies and time traveled and all this and all that. It is within me to say so, and I'm absolutely correct, and it is a factual thing. Period. But all the glory goes to the Most High. It was no one else's attribute but the Most High. And so that same attribute belongs to no one but the Most High, which makes me a definition of that attribute. And only me. Because it's a specific attribute. And it does not belong to anyone but God. And that's what it means to be formed in the image of God. So now let's tap into the tarot. Three of Nugs, Strength, and the Four of Nugs. So I can't even make this up. This is about resilience. This is about fortification of said resilience in the form of captivation rather than captivity. People nowadays are struggling to discern the difference between captivity and captivation. Let me bring it to your inform. Let me inform y'all. Let me give y'all the four. This is what captivity means. A state of being a prisoner, caught, taken prisoner, to take, hold, seize, from the word haft, like having, subjugation or subjection, bondage, servitude. Whatever you have is what you serve, is whatever you're binded to, whatever you're subjected to serving. Captivation, state or condition of being enthralled by excellence or beauty. To take, capture, is the act of capturing versus being captive of. Is the difference between being a leader and a follower. Now, y'all, now that you guys have been informed, let's take a second to think about, let's find out what it is we have to take a second, or we are to take it, we have to, yeah? See? So there's this captivity to making of your will a standard. And it is the opposite of accepting the standard of your will. It is literally the opposition, the barrier of accepting what is possible for you as a human being. That's why it's written to not lean on your own understanding. Because your own understanding would be what you're binded to. But an understanding that you can accept is an understanding that comes elsewhere, from elsewhere. And once you understand that elsewhere doesn't always mean outside of yourself, it doesn't always mean external to your own reality, that's when enlightenment comes in. And now you guys can discern who's enlightened and who's not. Just as I have, or had, or did, or I guess found out. Seven of joints. Deception has no place in a pure reality. And a true alchemist will always use all, and I mean all, of their resources. As they say in Altered Carbon, envoys take what is offered, even if it is deception. Because within every lie is still a truth. Amen. King of Cups, or King of Bongs. Ultimately, King and Queen of Bongs. Ultimately, emotional resilience is also something that is to be accepted. And emotional resilience is the assistance of divine contribution. Is this Six of Nugs, or that's three of joints? Oh, excuse me. Yes, Three of Joints. To leap forward and to roll a fine joint. I'm finna roll one. Literally, figuratively, or both. Hey, let's go for it. Take advantage of your good energy that abounds. To explore your creativity and self-expression. You have a lot of opportunities ahead. Travel abroad might even be in play. Travel abroad might even be in play. Now here's the challenge, y'all. The challenge is giving 9 of Pentacles or 9 of Nugs in reverse. 9 of Buds in reverse. I say Nugs. Sorry. I say Nugs, not Buds. If you've been focusing solely on your material gains to bring satisfaction, it's no surprise you might be feeling a little unfulfilled. Instead, look inward and learn to value the sweet inner growth too. The challenge is the 9 of Pentacles or 9 of Buds in reverse. Five of Buds with the Queen of Joints. And now we're at the word that I really wanted to speak on, or the sentence, I guess, would be religious fanaticism. We already knew that religious fanaticism was exactly what made cults exist. But the reason why we don't like cults nowadays is because, everybody, we in this timeline trust in faith of originality and uniqueness within each and every individual as one, aka wholeness within reality, destiny, mind, body, and soul. The mind is not the enemy. The body is not the enemy. The soul is not the enemy. The enemy is what opposes the unification of the holy union within oneself. And now we have found the sin. The sin is in slothness. The reason why the challenge has to do with the lack of material attunement is due to the error. Five of buds is the error of poverty, which is none of my business. We're out of that. Yeah. What? That's just not my problem. Problem, not my problem. That's just not my problem. Y'all, sing like this. Sing like this. Oops. Sorry, Fuchs. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, y'all. Orientation of shared, what is the pipe's energy again? Excuse me. Would it be wands? Yeah. The direction of instinct. Where is human instinct different, or where is human instinct unrecognized or dysregulated? Where is human instinct dysregulated at? Yeah, where is human instinct dysregulated? It would have to do with conformity. Yeah, it would have to do with conformity. With the Ten of Swords, human instinct is dysregulated in terms of conformity. Human nature does not require conformity. Let me really look this up. Human nature does not require, let me check it again. Basically, human nature does not require correspondence to any other nature at all, other than one of source of that human truth. Resilience against Slothfulness is acceptance of uniqueness, diversity, variety, and potential. Basically, we as human beings aren't required to correlate or correspond with sin or adversity. We don't have to be like the things that surround us. We don't have to be like the environment. We don't have to be like what we see, what we watch, what we feel, what we experience. And that brings this whole conversation to a close, where just because a person is hurt or had been hurt in the past doesn't mean that they are inevitably hurting others, or in as if that there is an inevitability to sin, hurt others, or commit the same crimes that had been occurred to them. That indeed would be temptation. So we'll start with the symptom of that correspondence to conformity. We don't have to conform, and it's not based off of free will. It's based off of the fact of human nature that we don't have to conform. And within that, when human beings, when there are people who do conform, it is because they correspond to that. They correspond with that conformity, aka they go back and forth, response to response, response to response, back and forth correspondence. It is not it's not a form of communication, by the way. Correspondence is a form of is a symptom, or is an act. Correspondence is an act of, let me check it. Correspondence is an act of agreement. I can't even make this shit up. I'm actually gonna take a screenshot. See? Correspondence, congruence, resemblance, harmony, agreement. You see? Resemblance. That's why I mentioned we don't have to, you know what I mean? We don't have to feel as if that we need to resemble anything. We don't have to feel in as if that we require some sort of harmonic justice between anything or anyone. It is within the parameters of free will and the resources applied to maximize the potential of the limitations within the destiny that our free will moves in that requires the resemblance. Does it? I feel like it's association, yeah? The Empress here. Hi. Temperance energy. Earth angel. The world. I don't know how I say the world. Cycle complete. So now it's going to be about passing this mission, overcoming it. You know what I mean? Fulfilling the mission. We don't have to appear as our intentions. In that, not appearing as our intention could also be justified. It wouldn't necessarily be a lie. Meaning that there is a transformative sort of alchemy that occurs in between the intention and the drive. And then the passion to achieve it. In that intermediate section, is where the unfamiliar occurs, the mystery. The unfamiliarity stems from the very processing of that transformation. The Devil in reverse, 3 of Buds. So, although I am the Empress, yes, I am the Empress. I am an earth angel, and I do live in the world. The way that I show up in the world, the Devil in reverse, directly constitutes in the transformation of my self-expression as the Empress in order to manifest Nine of Pentacles, which would be, let me just make sure. You've worked hard and your bud of labor is copiousness. You've earned the right to feel confident, earning, independent, and safe. This might be a good time to pour some love and care into all plants that you might be growing. Light up, get you some serenity and enjoy some guilt-free relaxation. Ease. So, in order to manifest ease, and I really want to explain to you guys how brainwashed people have been, because like this whole idea that, you know, like if you like working hard isn't easy and like, and like good things don't come easy, stuff like that, is all a distorted concept in order to enable laziness. If you feel like you can't achieve something, you might as well sleep on it, right? If you feel like you can't get somewhere, you might as well sleep on it, right? If you feel like that's the energy. Page of Bongs had been here first. The card came out earlier. And what it's trying to manifest, or whoever those energies or whoever those people are, those people that are, you know, still in their beginner stages of understanding even what the fuck ease is, don't understand what it is that they're asking for. However, they attempt to manifest through a correlationship, aka codependency on other people's thoughts and ideas and harmonic presences of their own truths. aka envy, and all sorts of other sins. Isn't that, what is that called again? It's called coveting. And that's the thievery, the deception, coveting. Because it assumes of somebody else's potential. Remember when I started the reading, how do you just go up to someone and then in your mind, like, you know what I mean? Like, and start going through like all these processes and forgetting who they are, and then going through all this constancy, that fake illusionary constancy, all to assume as if things are going to get easy or going to be easy. Like, you know what I mean? So that happiness and the production of happiness comes through with ease. It's very easy to be happy. It's very easy to be happy once you have the resources. It's very easy to be happy once you have the ability to be happy, to accept happiness. It's very easy to be happy once you've earned it. It's very easy. It's very easy to spread awareness of happiness and spread happiness once you have the ability, resources, and power to do so. And power comes with generosity. And generosity comes with truth. So whereas someone doesn't have the truth to be generous, then how would they have the generosity to be happy? The math isn't mathing with these people. And yet they truly think that they can correspond with the attunement in happiness. Trying to be happy with the grief, as if, you know, page of buds in reverse. There's no integration within that identity. There's no even concept of integration. A lot of these people don't even understand what a true companion means. I mean, they wouldn't even understand what it means to have a best friend. They wouldn't even grasp the holiness and glory within loyalty and friendship. There is no honor amongst thieves. So, fear not, for no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and their covetousness has been seen. It is time to let go, collective, high vibrational collective, and make it easy for yourself to be happy. That is the willful destiny of your soul. Make it easy for yourself to be happy. The moon with the 10 of Pentacles and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 9 of Swords. There's two sides to this coin, two sides to the moon, two sides to that secret. Those who get it, get it. And those who don't are trapped in it. And that is the cycle complete. Victory. And now we're back to the beginning with the victory card. And I guess that's it, collective. So what are the goals of the collective this season, Holy Spirit? Yeah, see? Cycle complete. The time of victory is over, and the time of celebration is now. So now, for the next how many seasons? For the next 4 seasons, for the next year, this year, I can't make this shit up. This year, starting from March, is it going to be March? I think it is starting from today. Today is the 21st. It's going to be the 22nd. It's going to be a march of celebration for all chosen ones. All of those chosen by the Most High. All of us chosen by God. Until next year. And then the grind will begin again. Judgment. So someone is trying to put judgment upon this celebration, this yearly celebration as an illusion. See, someone's trying to put their judgment on it. Someone's trying to make up their ideas about it. See? And that's their shit. You see their shit? You see how it's usually just 1 or 2 people, or like a couple people, or like even a couple people, but as groups, yeah? See cults? Look at them. What did we say about this card? Didn't I say 10 of joints? You can always go back and find out what I said about it. That's just not my problem. Not my problem. These people are getting affected. These guys are getting, those people are getting affected. They're getting real affected by it now. Real affected by their falsities and their falsehoods. Yeah. That real affected. Yeah. So the goal of the collective this celebrative year, this year. So we have some people who are planning on celebrating with their lovers, celebrating by themselves or with their lovers, right? It's a good goal to have. Celebrating with yourself is an important goal to have, and then celebrating with your lover is also an important goal to have. If you're someone like me, and apparently in your destiny chart, sometimes, it's like the singularity. Some of us are captivated by singularity, and some of us are being held captive by singularity, right? So in this sense, there are some people who feel captive by singularity, who are learning to instead be captivated by their singularity, which is why romantic and romanticism exists. And then there are those people who are feeling captive in uniformity. And then there are those who choose to set a goal to instead be captivated by uniformity. Maximization of potential is now nigh. Let's just say it's happening, y'all. It's happening right now. Another goal for some of the collective is to consecrate idealism or their idealism. Some others are asking for their goals to be set to overcome undercompensation. I do see that undercompensation. That's directly from God, honestly. So undercompensation seems to be a huge limitation within our system on Earth. Yeah. It's fraud overcoming fraud and undercompensation. And God is granting all his chosen ones with the ability to overcome undercompensation. The ability does come from wisdom. So the wisdom to prepare. What other wisdom? The wisdom to vindicate self. The wisdom to vindicate self. That's what it is. Away from undercompensation. Yeah. What's that page of pipes? And there's that theatrical hostility. It's like literally we're moving away from it. Yeah, I knew it. Empress. I can't make this shit up. In between the Emperor and the Empress is the Page of Pipes and the Knight of Buds. There's that false continuity in between the unification of divine masculine, divine feminine energy. All that undercompensation is to discover legacy. So if you're resonating high vibrationally, if you're a high vibrational man and you feel like you've been wronged or undercompensated or, invalidated in some sort of way, it's also that you can discover your own potential when it comes to your legacy. And if you're a woman and you feel like you've been wronged, undercompensated, stagnated, and so on, it's also that you can discover the opportunity to perform within your legacy. I'm not saying that act had been good or bad. I'm saying that irrationality can come to some use for the collective by witnessing the progress of the potential that is achieved within it authentically. In fact, it might be authenticity itself. Authenticity in its pure form is being opposed by that energy. So let's find out how there have been illusions. What is the lie within that error? Excuse me. The lie has to do with spiritual foundation. Fanaticism. I'm telling you, fanaticism. The truth is that you don't have to be a fan of a specific structure in order to be disciplined by it or in it or achieve from it. You don't have to be a fan of something in order for you to, respect it. And maybe that's what it is. Religious fanaticism is a distortion of respect. It's when one who hasn't achieved respect within themselves, for themselves, can never accept respect from another. And so they cannot manifest through respect. And just because someone hasn't received respect from another doesn't mean that that person cannot provide respect to themselves or to someone else. Lock and key, baby. Lock and key. we've reached the threshold. And those who sought to perform despair on others are now living in despair for themselves. Yum yum. Strength. Those who get it. And those who don't are confined in it. Ace of Buds. Now, the transformation of power begins. Ain't it funny how power comes with money? Now I'm out here popping, they come back like they're an option, and the shit is hella scummy. They claiming that they love me, but when they realize my time is finally coming, in a way, 'cause the night is young, 4-wheel drive, and my stars are all aligned. Justice is being revolutionized. God is good always. Hear ye, hear ye. 8 demons have been slain, and the angels are about. You know what that means? You know when they say when you exorcise one demon, 7 more it leaves the area. Then when you clean up, 7 more come back, right, to that area. And then you have to slay all 7 of them. Hear ye, hear ye. 8 demons have been slain. And now is the time for restitution. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that reading. If it resonated, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. It was a beautiful day in San Francisco today. Sunny, shiny, warm. Man, I love when it's warm in San Francisco. Ooh. Y'all. Hunger shall not deceive me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and night or morning or evening or afternoon. Sayonara.